These two leaders have identical performance metrics, but one has a team that would walk through fire for them, and the other just lost their third top performer this quarter. The difference? It's not what you think, and it's measurable. Picture two scenarios: the same company, same pressure, same impossible deadline. A leader who walks into the team meeting and says, "We've got a problem. The client moved up the deadline by a week. I know it's going to be tough, but I believe in this team. What do we need to make this happen?" Leader B walks in and says, "The deadline got moved up. I don't want to hear any excuses. Just figure it out and get it done." Same words essentially, same message. But here's what happened next. Leader A's team stayed late, collaborated creatively, and delivered something exceptional. Meanwhile, 3 people on Leader B's team called in sick the next day, and one actually started job hunting that weekend. The difference? It isn't talent, resources, or even communication skills. It's something that Dr. John Gottman discovered that most leaders have never heard of. And it's the secret to every high-performing team. Welcome to Worthy Wednesday, where we go deeper into concepts that transform how you connect and lead. Today, I want to show you the positive side of Gottman's research. He discovered that successful relationships aren't just about avoiding bad patterns. They're about consistently making what he calls bids for connection and building what I call your connection bank. This isn't just relationship theory. This is the hidden operating system of every high-performing team. And most leaders are unknowingly bankrupting their accounts every single day. When you understand how to make deposits, everything changes. When your connection bank is overdrawn, people stop bringing you solutions and only problems. Innovation dies because nobody wants to risk failure. Your best performers start looking for leaders who get them. Every conversation becomes transactional instead of transformational. But when your connection bank is full, magic happens. People bring you their breakthrough ideas first. Your team becomes resilient during crisis. Conflicts turn into opportunities for deeper trust, and your influence multiplies exponentially. The leaders who understand this concept don't just manage teams, they build movements, and it starts with understanding what Gottman calls bids for connection. Let me show you what most leaders miss every single day. A bid for connection is any attempt that someone makes to get your attention, affection, or support. They're happening constantly. You're just not seeing them. Hey, did you see that article about, "I'm struggling with this client situation. I have an idea about a project. Can I get your thoughts on something?" Here's what Gottman discovered. In successful relationships, people turn towards these bids 86% of the time. In failing relationships, only 33% lean forward. Here's the leadership application that changes everything. Every interaction with your team is either a deposit or a withdrawal from the connection bank. When someone makes a bid, you have 3 choices. 1, you can turn towards, engage with interest and curiosity. 2, you can turn away. You can ignore or dismiss the bid. 3, you can turn against with criticism or hostility. And here's what most leaders don't even realize. Your team is making bids for connection with you dozens of times a day. The question is, are you catching them? This is where my framework for connected leadership becomes your superpower for building connection bank deposits. Receive the bid for what it actually is. Notice when someone is reaching out for connection. Recognize the courage that it takes to make themselves vulnerable and catch the subtle bids, not just the obvious ones. The "hey, how was your weekend?" isn't just small talk. It is a bid for personal connection. Perceive what they really need. Are they seeking validation for their ideas? Do they need support through a challenge? Are they offering their expertise and wanting recognition? Are they simply wanting to feel seen and valued? Recognizing value, understanding that their bid represents their inherent worth, seeking acknowledgement. Respond in ways that make massive deposits. Give your full attention, even if it's brief. Ask questions that show genuine interest. Acknowledge their contribution or their concern, and connect their idea to the bigger picture. This is embodying grace, showing up with curiosity and compassion instead of judgment or dismissal. Let me show you the 5 types of connection bank deposits that transform team dynamics. 1. Attention deposits. Simply being fully present when someone's talking to you. No phone, no multitasking, and making genuine eye contact. Sarah mentions she's nervous about tomorrow's presentation. Instead of saying, "You'll be fine," you should ask, "Tell me what specifically you're concerned about. Let's think through this together." 2. Appreciation deposits. Acknowledging not just the results, but the effort, growth, and character. "Mike, I noticed how you stayed calm during that client crisis. Your steadiness helped the whole team focus on solutions instead of panic." 3. Curiosity deposits. Asking questions that show you value their perspective and expertise. Instead of giving immediate direction, try asking, "What's your take on this situation? What am I missing?" 4. Affirmation deposits. Recognizing value beyond current performance. "I know this project has been challenging, but I want you to know that your creative thinking is exactly what this team needs." And 5. Consistency deposits. That means following through on commitments and being predictably supportive. If you say you'll get back to someone by Friday, then you need to get back to them by Friday, every time. Now here's the key. These aren't manipulative techniques. They only work when there's genuine expressions of conquering control. You have to focus on connection instead of trying to manage the outcomes. Let me show you how leaders unknowingly drain their connection bank, because this is what destroys teams. The biggest withdrawals happen when we miss bids for connection. Imagine a team member saying, "I've been thinking about ways to improve our process." And the leader's response saying, "Let's just stick to the agenda." Or this one, a team member saying, "I'm struggling to balance the competing priorities that you've given me." And the response, "Just figure it out. That's what we pay you for." Every missed bid is a withdrawal. Every dismissive response is a withdrawal. Every time you're physically present but mentally checked out, withdrawal. Here is the devastating part. It takes 5 positive interactions to offset 1 negative interaction. In banking terms, you need 5 deposits to recover from 1 withdrawal. This is why some leaders can work incredibly hard. They can care deeply about their team and still have people quitting. They're making withdrawals faster than deposits. The scales are not balanced. But when you understand the system, you can transform any relationship. Let me tell you about a director. We're going to call him James. He couldn't understand why his team felt disconnected from him. His performance reviews were solid. He gave clear direction. He solved problems efficiently. But people weren't bringing him ideas. They weren't excited about the projects. And 3 good people had left in 6 months. So I had him track bids for connection for 1 week. I told him, just notice them. Don't change anything. He was shocked. He had counted 47 bids for connection in 5 days. 47 times his team had reached out for attention, support, or acknowledgement. You want to know how many he turned toward? 8. He wasn't turning against them. He wasn't hostile. He was just busy, focused, task-oriented. The next week, he made a simple commitment to turn toward at least 70% of the bids he noticed. Not perfect, just better. And within months, his team dynamic had completely shifted. People started staying after meetings to brainstorm. Someone brought him an innovative idea, and it saved the company $200,000. Same leader, same people. The only difference? He started making connection bank deposits consistently. So here's your Worthy Wednesday challenge. For the next week, I want you to become a connection bank detective. Track bids for connection, yours and theirs. And every time someone approaches you, ask yourself, is this a bid for connection? How can I turn towards the bid? And what type of deposit might be the most meaningful here? Here's the deeper challenge. Start making preemptive deposits. Don't wait for them to make the bids. Look for opportunities to make attention, appreciation, and curiosity deposits throughout your day. When your connection bank is full, people don't just work for you, they work with you. They don't just execute your vision, they expand it. And when crisis hits, instead of having to rebuild trust, you get to leverage the trust that you've already built. I want to hear about your connection bank experiences. Think about a leader who consistently turns toward your bids. What do they do differently? How does that affect your willingness to bring them ideas or problems? I'll share first. Early in my leadership journey, I had a team member who always asked me about my weekend. For months, I gave one-word answers because I didn't think it was important to tell her any of the details of my weekend. What I didn't realize was that she was trying to connect with me as a person, not just as a boss. If the connection bank concept resonates with you, here is what I need. First, hit the like button if you're ready to start making conscious deposits with your team. Second, subscribe and ring that bell because this connects directly to our 4 Horsemen series. Monday, we talked about catching criticism before it strikes, which prevents major withdrawals. This coming Monday, we're going to dive into the deadliest horseman of them all, contempt. Let me tell you, if criticism damages your connection bank, contempt completely bankrupts it. We are talking about the eye roll that kills careers, that sarcastic comment that destroys innovation, and that superior attitude that makes people quit without notice. Third, try the bid tracking challenge this week and report back. Remember, every interaction is either a deposit or a withdrawal. Make them count. Your connection bank balance isn't just a nice to have. It's the foundation of everything you want to achieve as a leader.